This feels like Groundhog Day. Every day I wake up, it's just like, it's time for another Starfleet Academy review. It's getting that bad. This week, we're meant to be dealing with the gay Klingon to discover why he loves bird watching instead of fighting. And after last week's episode where 5 characters came out as Lugabatuv, I can only dream of what's in store for us today. Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. It's that time of the week again, or that time of the month for me, I'm not too sure. All I know is when I finish these things, I'm bleeding out of different orifices and I'm normally very angry. But that's just by the by. Let's get into episode 4 of Starfleet Academy. We start off with Holly Hunter. I know that's her. It might be difficult to recognize her without her feet shoved right down your throat, giving a Chancellor's Address, aka Captain's Log, as the Starship Athena, is in its 3rd official day of whatever these absolute window lickers are going to get into trouble for this week. She waffles on pretentiously about a nebula outside, going, oh my goodness me, I'm struck by its awe. Imagine all of those atoms having to come together to make this. This used to be a star. Waffle, waffle, blah, blah. Then she starts talking about, this reminds me of my cadets and what choices and life experience brought them here. And I'm just like, hold on, sweetheart. This isn't the Avengers Initiative, you know. This isn't superheroes that have been out there in the world for a decade or so. And hey, guys, I'm putting a team together. No, this is Starfleet Academy. This is meant to be for people around 16 to 20s, you know, around about there. They don't have much life experience. Now, I know Caleb's been a criminal nicking shit for years, but like the hologram is what, 4 months old? And it was programmed to be a retard, which in itself seems absolutely stupid. And then the others are meant to be like 16, 17, 18-year-olds. So what real experience have they had apart from going to school and playing with their space dolls? So let's just, you know, get back in your box, turn it down a couple of notches. This is about shaping the minds of tomorrow, shaping these kids to become the leaders of Starfleet, which they'll never do because they're all fucking retarded. The emergency medical hologram who says, I'm no mentor, who is a teacher, ergo a mentor, who was a mentor for 7 of 9 in Voyager, is now giving Admiral Satie's speech from the drumhead, my favorite episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. So, as you can probably gather, I'm already boiling on the inside, my blood. And I'm just thinking, you have nothing. You are so desperate to call upon previous Trek because you know you cannot create new Trek, because you know what this show stands for isn't Star Trek at all. So if you say a few things from the other shows, if you show a reference or a name from the other shows, that's Star Trek, right? Wrong. Star Trek was about the evolution of each show. Next Generation was its own individual thing. DS9 became its own original thing. Voyager started off with a good premise and then floundered massively and lost it completely. And Enterprise, again, tried to be its own unique thing. One thing Kurtzman Trek can't be is its own thing. Because Kurtzman, number 1, steals everything from much better shows, franchises, etc. And number 2, realizes that Star Trek has no identity under his regime because all he wants to waffle on about is his current day issues, which makes all of his shows exceedingly dated, and they will never, ever possess the longevity that the original series, Next Generation, DS9, etc. will always have. Now, this, of course, ironically, is about the censoring of speech and how when that starts to happen, it chains us all and it damages us all, given by a group of far leftist weirdos who call for censorship, call for deplatforming, cheer violence and murder at every given opportunity. Don't worry, the irony isn't lost at all. Anyway, the reason why he gives this speech is because it's about the Starfleet debate, which is gonna happen. And he says it's not for the chicken shit, quote. And so this kid who's wearing glasses, who shouldn't be wearing glasses, but nobody involved in Star Trek that has Alex Kurtzman involved knows anything about it whatsoever, so don't worry about it, says, are you allowed to say that kind of language? And he's actually correct, because it is very unprofessional to say that, but we're dealing with very unprofessional teachers. You know, it's like they're having all of them at the same time having a perpetual midlife crisis where they just want to be the kids instead of the adults in the room. Maybe that's why so many things go fucking wrong all the time. And of course, Robert Picardo responds, the EMH responds by saying, I've been around longer than you, and so I can do what I like. So we are dealing with Arrested Development adults here. Gotcha. Good news, everybody. Coffee arrived. My throat might need a skin no, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I like hot drinks. So Jaden, hi, my name's Jaden. I'm like a really soft-hearted, like Klingon and stuff. So Jaden, you'll never believe this, is a limp-wristed. Anyway, so he's just like, oh, I don't like public speaking. It makes me nervous because I'm a little bitch. And Caleb is just like, yo, dude, my brother, haven't you got game? Because it's yo 2025 in the house. There's not nearly enough coffee in the world that can save me from this. Yes, they're using more current day language because they are unintelligent enough to create their own 34th century or whatever they're in now language. You got game, bro? Yo, bro. Now, Bully Boy says something to the gay Klingon, which makes Robert Picardo put the whole class against him in a debate. So they're all lined up to debate Bully Boy. If they say the right things, they advance. And I cannot believe what Caleb just says now. I mean, I absolutely 100% agree with him. But again, I think today's theme is irony, because Caleb says amateurs debate with emotions instead of facts. You are indeed correct, sir. But we are dealing with a show where almost every decision seems to be motivated by emotions because there's no logic anymore. There is only feelings in space. Everybody crying all the time because they're emotionally retarded. Captains not acting like captains, them acting way too emotionally. There's no chain of command anymore because emotions have got the better of everybody. This is a fucking Vulcan's nightmare, this era. And yet you want to say that, you know, amateurs use emotions to motivate debate instead of facts. And then he goes, correct, or Ensign Mia, whatever he is, Cadet Mia, advance. Wow. It's a shame none of you took your own freaking advice now, isn't it? So Bully Boy's knocked out, so then Little Princess has to step up to debate Caleb. Caleb destroys her as well, so she gets kicked off. And then retarded hologram steps up and goes, and is immediately dismissed because retards in space. So Caleb beats person after person after person, and then it's time for Jaden. Oh my God! Jaden steps up and his hearts are pumping away and he's sweating because this Klingon has social anxiety because he's defective in multiple ways and techniques. So we get a close up of Jaden. Oh my God! Ooh! And then it cuts to another room, and it's just Jaden and Caleb. I guess they're on a date or something. I don't know. And I don't know which room they're in because they all look the same. None of them have a personality because this whole thing's just homogenized dog shit. So these commies will love that. And Caleb is holding a slice of pepperoni pizza, and Jaden, oh my God, is pouring his heart out because feelings, nothing but space feelings. Everybody's got a fucking, oh my God, I've got such a poor backstory. Oh, woe is fucking me. Why can't we just have the confident person that's just like, do you know what? I've worked hard all my life and I've done well and I've had a great family and I've come from a stable background and I'm here to show you wankers what true leadership's about. But we can't have that. And because this is current fucking day, Caleb says to Jaden, oh my God, he says, do you want to eat your feelings? Is it not one of you, not one of the writers in the writer's room just said, hey, do you know what? Maybe we should stop using all this current day wank language, which is going to date the show dramatically. And then, I know, because somebody would just go, look, it doesn't matter because what we insert in the show dates it immediately anyway. So there'll be no relevance for any of this Kurtzman Trek in the future. It will never be looked upon. It will never be regarded as... Eat your feelings, Jaden. Oh my God! So this honorless Klingon won't eat the pepperoni on the pizza. And so Caleb says, I also replicated some Klingon food. And Jaden, oh my God, says that this is a warrior stew and can only be eaten by warriors. And he says, I was brought up by my fathers. Fathers and mother. And they taught me better. Honorless Klingon scum! Honorless Klingon scum. Apologies for the lens flare, as you know, it's all over this piece of crap. But I guess the two fathers, one mother, is some sort of Klingon polycule crud, which, kind of par for the course with these degenerates. And also explains why he's an honorless cur. This, of course, is all about the deconstruction of the Klingon race, because the Klingons are a patriarchal society. They are a warrior society based on honor. And of course, they can't have a warrior and honor together. They can't have violence and honor together. So they've turned it into a two dads, one woman polycule, which is more matriarchal in nature, which explains why, he's turned out the way he's turned out. And also it's to emasculate, that's the word I'm looking for, the Klingons, who are a very much a masculine race of people. And Jaden doesn't have a single drop of testosterone in his body. In their eyes, they are fixing. You know that. They are fixing the Klingon race to become more like the current day far left weirdo freaks. Whereas instead of having the intelligence to write an aggressive Klingon and put him in the middle of these cadets, which within itself could cause natural conflict, butting of cultures, and potentially lead to some good storytelling. But this isn't about good storytelling, because this is Alex Kurtzman's Starfleet Academy. It's about dog shit feelings in space. Jaden, oh my god, then gets called into Footsie McDoodle's fucking place, and she tells him that we've got reports that a Klingon ship carrying refugees, 8 houses or so, might have been carrying your polycule of degeneracy, has suffered catastrophic technical failure, but we don't know if they're alive or dead. That's all we got. That's all the news that the Klingons shared with us. So he has a quick flashback to his gay dads and the polycule mum all going in the woods where they're probably bird watching together. I don't care, because Jaden, oh my god, is not a character. We haven't seen anything particular of him in the past 3 episodes, and everything that we see of him is the antithesis of a Klingon. So as a Star Trek fan, is actually pretty revolting. Then it goes over the tannoy, which is very difficult to hear because the background music just swamps fucking everything. The ship that crashed housed the last 8 remaining houses of the Klingon Empire. This is a species, it says, on the verge of extinction. So I'm wondering to myself, how many people is 8 houses? And how many people were on that ship? I mean, the Galaxy class could house a little over 1,000 people. So is there only about, let's say, 1,000, if it was on parity with that, 1,000 Klingons left? So they've crashed, they've lost more people. Oh dear. And then I'm thinking to myself, oh, and the writers decided to make Jaden gay. So do you know what he's not going to be doing? Continuing the Klingon line. That's what he's not going to be doing. Oh, well. See ya. You're the only Klingon cadet that we have, so if you'd like to take some time off. Oh, no, says Jaden. Oh, my God. I'm good. I hate my species. I hate my race, so I'm good. Yo, I'm going to just go eat my feelings or see if I've got some game or some other current day phrase, I guess. So then we go to a flashback scene where Jaden, oh my God, is out with his brother. He refers to him as brother. Brother, you were meant to teach me how to hunt today. But just earlier, when he was speaking to Caleb, he referred to them as my fathers and mother. So can't they even get their family straight? I mean, they couldn't get Jaden straight. Hey! That was also, I could do that gag. So one of the dads, I don't know, one of the dads comes back and has made a bow for his brother. And he says, Jaden, oh my God, I will make one of these for you when you become a warrior. And all I could think of was this.
I'm gay.
So this family has 5 of them, 2 dads, 1 mum, and 2 sons. So I don't even want to begin to think about the ramifications of that one. And so his brother realizes that this guy's going to never be a warrior, takes him into the woods, should have put 2 in the chest, 1 in the pooter. But he decides instead to give him a beacon from Starfleet, which has the EMH going, "We are recruiting for Starfleet Academy. After 120 years of being an isolationist world, we've decided to open our doors again to any old retards." Now, this, of course, gives the show a great reason for everybody to just be emotional, because that's all this is, emotions in space. But I did find this next bit actually rather interesting. You see, the hologram goes up to Jaden, "Oh my God." And she says, "If there's anything that I can do." And I was thinking to myself, as I do when I do these reviews, why? You are fucking retarded. You are a hologram that showers. You're a hologram that fails to breathe underwater. You're a hologram that realizes you can't be harmed and yet screams whenever you come up against anything. You're a hologram that thinks debating is looking at another person and going, "Ugh," and you think you can fucking help with what? You can't even help yourself. Oh, you can tell this is just current day fucking shit. When the EMH is talking about, this is how we're going to prepare for the debate. We're going to have that and that. Then we're going to have the cross-examinations. And then that last there, this last here, it's like, "Yes, cadet." And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm from current fucking day. Like, oh my God, these, isn't it like inappropriate and stuff and things to be debating when like the Klingons are like, oh my God, in trouble and stuff? I don't think I can emotionally like handle it and things." Give me a phaser. No. Give me a phaser. Give me 2 phasers. Let me just. I am amazed that there hasn't been an academy incident, shall we say, so far. I would make that happen, though. I would. Maybe a photon rifle. Oh God, I could do a lot of damage real quick. Oh, so Jaden, oh my God, decides to pull rank on the teacher and say, "Yes, this is what we should be debating. If it's not going to happen here, it's happening out there, so we might as well make it the theme of the debate." And of course, the doctor capitulates because there is no chain of command, there is no structure, there is no respect, because this isn't Starfleet Academy, this is Starfleet Circus. But this is also one of those great hypocritical moments where we're meant to feel sorry. I think this is what the show, empathy. I think that's what the show's meant. We should be having empathy for the gay Klingon because his people are on the verge of extinction. But why should we? Why should we have any sympathy or empathy or what the ever for this guy? This guy turned his back on his people. This guy isn't going to help the Klingon race procreate. This guy doesn't care. So why, if we're going to have any sympathy, it's for the remaining few that want the Klingon Empire to continue, but not this guy. You're a fake, mate. You're a fake. Your preparation better be faultless, says the EMH. We don't want to compound tragedy with ignorance. Oh, sir, the absolute lack of self-awareness here from the writers is mwah. Imagine that this has been written by Kurtzman and his ilk, the same sort of people that run around calling anyone that has a differing opinion to them a Nazi, a racist, a homophobe, a sexist, a blah, 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 because they purposely don't go into the nuance of why they might vote a certain way or why they might have a difference of opinion in certain matters. Oh my! Oh, you can't hate these people enough. You really can't. Oded Feather turns up to speak to Foot Fetish McTwinkletoes and says, wow, the lens flare in this show is really fucking obnoxious. And she says, yeah, do you want to see my feet? He says, no, I'm good, thanks. But what I do have is there is a world in Federation space which matches Cronus. I mean, they should have known about this a long, long time. Anyway, and the Klingons, they won't accept it because they don't want to take charity. But you know this specific diplomat, and he could be open to negotiations. And then Foot Fetish McGraw says, yeah, but we can't let anyone know that I'm going to have talks with him because it would bring dishonor upon his family. And I really wish Oded said, well, who cares? Because that little mincer back there, he don't, does he? Why not make it too dishonorable? Anyway, also, it doesn't make any sense. Why would the Klingons refuse to accept a world from the Federation when they themselves are currently, quote, going from refugee camp to refugee camp? It doesn't make a lick of sense. But that's Kurtzman Trek for a start. Also, this is just a rehashing of the Romulan story. This is a rehashing of the Vulcan story, which they've already told in Kurtzman Trek. They have nothing original here. Oh, look, the Romulans are on the verge of extinction due to their planet just suddenly blowing up because their sun goes supernova out of nowhere. Oh, look, the Vulcans, the planet's been destroyed. We've got to get old man Spock boning again to try and procreate to keep the Vulcan species alive. Oh, look, the Klingon species is on the end of extinction. Haven't you got any fucking original ideas left? No, that's why Kurtzman steals everything. He brain dead. He'd be like, our platform for Black Lives Matter? Okay. Twump, build wall bad. Pull down wall, please, so we can come in and take all your shit. Thank you. He's literally a drooling vegetable. So the little princess and Caleb are walking up the stairs and they bump into Jaden. Oh my God. And they say to him, look, we're working together to construct our debate and we want to know if you want to join us. And Jaden, oh my God, says, who else is teaming up? And they say, no one, but these are special circumstances. So Jaden, oh my God, says, you don't think that I can do this? You think I'm weak? Blah, blah, blah. And little princess then has to put down Caleb because the women have to drag the men down to their level, which is, pretty much rock bottom. And she says, he may be an ass, but he's our best debater. Now, of course, the debate is around the survival of the Klingon species, in essence, and whose fault it was that all their energy sources were, fueled by dilithium, which is what caused Kronos to explode, blah, blah, blah. And Caleb, at this moment, decides to say, yeah, the best masturbator. This is why a show like Starfleet Academy will always be dog shit. And it is written by Gaia Viola, who is the creator of the show and the person from Lower Dregs, which was embarrassing garbage. Because this is one of these episodes where thematically it's got a heavy theme. You've got the potential extinction of a whole race, and you have one of that race who's never going to procreate because they're gay at the academy. And the students are going to debate whether or not, in essence, it was the Klingons' own fault that they're in the predicament that they're in. But you've got to try and undercut this with your garbage, puerile, childish fucking humor of, I'm a masturbator. Do you think in Measure of a Man, do you think if Riker was making a bunch of masturbatory jokes, the episode would have hit as hard as it hit? You know, all right, Commander Data, I hear that you're fully functional. Yeah, does that mean you get a whoa? Did you spuzz your load all over Tasha's titties? And that, of course, was an episode that involved a debate. Course not. This is an episode where there shouldn't be any humor because of the theme. This is an episode where you should be taking things seriously, where the stakes should be high and the characters should be taken as legitimate people. But when you keep turning them into clowns because this is the Starfleet circus, none of it sits at all. Oh, why take any of this seriously when it's all just a fucking joke? And it's not a moment of levity breaking up something serious in the slightest. It's just pathetic. But that's where we are. So Jaden, oh my God, storms off to go back to his room so he can sit on the windowsill and look at the nebula, pouting as he thinks back to his brother trying to trade for Federation medical technology to give to Jaden because he knows that he ain't no warrior. You know, he's only going to embarrass himself. And he gets betrayed and stabbed with a poison dagger and dies. So this house has now gone down to 4 people. The 2 dads, the mum, and Jaden. So that's the end of this house. This house is now dead because Jaden ain't producing any more offspring. All right. And the brother says to Jaden before he dies, don't try and better yourself. Okay. Just stay the absolute wet fish that you are today. Don't try and be a Klingon. Don't try and be a warrior. You ain't got it, mate. But I say that with love, you know. Just be true to yourself. Oh no, the Klingon ambassador's white. Is he going to turn out to be a bad guy? It wouldn't surprise me. Oh no, it's even worse. He's been fucking Holly Hunter in the past, you can tell. Oh, I tell you what, there is a mystery to this show which I've yet to find an answer to, and that is, why does anyone even like this cow? She's horrible. But I mean, that's another thing for another time. Just the image of this Klingon fucking her is doing my head in. We cannot accept charity, says the ambassador. We can only accept conquest. And Holly Hunter's reply is, then you'll make an orphan of my cadet. Well, he's orphaned himself, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? You know, because that house, it ain't doing the do. Yeah? There's no little Klingon, little feet tapping around. Unless Kyle's got some special built-in male womb in the 34th century, which right now, I'm not ruling out because it is Starfleet Academy. If his family is still alive, then there's a chance to save them. Well, they are the most redundant of the houses. Because now all that is left is Jaden. He ain't doing nothing. And the one mother and 2 fathers. Oh, just saying that makes me just fucking roll my eyes to the back of my head. And of the age that she is, I don't think any more children are being produced. So those 3 Klingons, probably in the eyes of the Klingon Empire, are pretty much surplus to requirements now. Caleb walks in on Jaden, oh my God, going through his notes. And his notes are, because he reads them out loud, my opponent has debated that... How the fuck do you know? You don't know what they've debated. You don't know what points they've just brought up. You're constructing your own argument, whatever it's going to be, whether it's going to be pro the Klingon Empire or against the Klingon Empire based on their decisions. You don't know what they've said, so why would you be doing something based upon a response that, you know, the writing is so fucking shit. You can tell that they never had to do any debating in their life. Maybe some masturbating. Ugh. Hey, look, I did your fucking joke. Back on you, stupid writers. So, Jaden, it just shows what a horrible person he is. Caleb tries to find some common ground. Hey, look, we both came to Starfleet Academy with nothing. We both have no one here. And he's like, we are not the same. And Caleb says, like, I know. Look, he says, I don't even have anyone. At least you have some people. And that's where Jaden decides to really stick the knife. And he's like, yes, you don't have anybody. Well, he does. I mean, his mum's out there playing She-Hulk. But since the first episode, we've decided that nobody gives a shit about his mum anymore. Anyway, that's another thing for another time. And he says, and I do. So fuck off. It's like, way to be a massive twat. Yeah, you've got nobody, so you're okay. But I actually do have people, even though I've turned my back on them, even though I'm never going to add or contribute to their society. The ambassador says he'll look into whether or not Jaden, oh my God, his family is still alive. But as regards to the planet, it's a Neddy no-no. And she's like, is that it? And he actually says a really good line, which I appreciate. And he says, after hundreds of years, you're still surprised when you don't get your own way. And I'm like, yeah, this is a fucking obnoxious bint that always thinks that she should get her own way. So, well done, mate. You always turn everything into a fight. I'm a Klingon. That's what we do. Unlike that honorless Pachtak in the Academy. If you've got this far in the video, because we are, over 30 minutes or so now, I'd just like to play a little game with the people who are remaining. In the comments section, I want you to put down what you think the messaging of this video is. I'm going to relay some stuff to you, and you see what you think. Because this is an episode about turning your back on your heritage, turning your back on your people, turning your back on your family, turning your back on masculinity, so that you can selfishly do your own thing. Just going to leave that with you to play with, because that is the message in this whole episode from Jaden. This is getting quite uncomfortable to watch. So Bully Boy gets him doing this breathing technique for the Warriors on his home world. Notice he said Warriors. And so Jaden, oh my God, just gets straight into it. And I'm thinking, so you'll easily, in a drop of a hat, turn your back on your people, your people's way of life, all of that kind of jazz, but you'll embrace this guy's way of living immediately, without question, without resistance. Oh, commie shit. Oh, commie bollocks. Oh, sorry. Got a bit of a commie in my throat. Getting real uncomfortable now. Oh, and by the way, he gets him to recite his speech. And he's like, honorable people, my opponent has argued. You don't know what your fucking opponent has argued, dipshit! Useless fucking Klingon wanker. And then he breaks away, and they're both sad because now they've got erections that they don't know what to do with, I guess. So we now have the debate section, and this is where things just don't make any sense from the episode. You see, Jaden, oh my God, debates that the Klingons have the right to be Klingon and define themselves as Klingon. Well, the definition of what a Klingon is is very specific, and you yourself turned your back on it. So you are debating that the Klingons have every right to be the way that they are, but you don't hold that belief. So you being a hypocrite again. You're using the true Klingon way to try and push your debate. You don't hold that belief. You don't believe in that way of life. You've turned your back on that way of life. You claim that there's enough Klingons in the quadrant to get by. There isn't. There's 8 houses left, and your house is fucking dead. So there's 7 houses left. Your house had 5 people at peak. How many does the rest of those 7 houses have? Thousands? Hundreds? Tens? Ones? This is a nonsensical argument that he's bringing here. I'm actually quite happy here because thankfully the show has recognized the absolute and utter hypocrisy of Jaden, and Caleb says, well, you turned your back on them. You turned your back on the way of living. You've come over here to Starfleet. We fucking feed you. We clothe you. We put you in a fucking bed. Oh, but I still do it as a Klingon. Well, you don't. You're a Klingon in name only because you've turned your back on everything recognizable from a Klingon. So Caleb is in the right here. You're in the wrong, but I'm sure later in the episode, it will be, no, you were right all along and I was wrong. But we'll see. We'll see. But right now, Caleb giving that little mincer some home truths that he can't deal with, little baby. So the half Gen Hadar, as I like to call them, Femdom Hadar, Klingon, decides to try and tell the Klingon about being a Klingon. It does my head in. And of course, we're back to using more modern day modernity language. She says, I didn't want to F this up. Spoiler alert, your whole show's fucked up, okay? I dishonor both worlds, the Klingon and Starfleet. Great to know we're on the same page at last, because you do. You dishonor your Klingon heritage and you dishonor Starfleet as well by simply existing. So Jaden, oh my God, tells Femdom Hadar that when he went out for the hunt with his father, which we saw earlier, and his father wanted him to shoot down an eagle with a bow and arrow to become a warrior, and he refused to do so and said, I still honor you. He's like, and so the father grabbed the bow and arrow and was so angry when he tried to shoot the eagle that he missed. So they got so pissed off with the fact that he had turned his back on the Klingon way of life that they got in their ship and fucking left him to birdwatch. Does that not tell you about Klingons and the Klingon way and how you have turned your back on the Klingon way? You are not a diverse Klingon like the wanker who plays Jaden said on the red carpet. Yeah, the Klingons are very diverse. No, they're not. They're warriors. They're a warrior race. And this is what happens when you turn your back on them. You are no longer one of them. You made your choice. Deal with the consequences of that. That's what this character can't handle. This episode has shown all the way through that Jaden, oh my God, is not in any capacity in the right here. He gives a big speechy mouthy, but he's full of shit. And he's so full of shit that he refuses to live with the consequences of his actions, which were so bad that your polycule fucking Klingon family left you. That's like being abandoned by a family from fucking Portland. Deal with it. There are only a few things I know to be true, she says. Then why are you a fucking teacher, you... So despite everything we've just seen, she comes out with the most nonsensical gobbledygook. But what does she know? She's only half fucking Klingon. She says, a Klingon doesn't miss out of rage. Rage actually makes the kill more satisfying. He missed because he recognized the superior person who was you. And the only way that he could honor the hunt was to miss to give you the victory to set you free. Fuck off! Oh, I knew they would try and turn this around. Don't believe your lying eyes. Don't believe what you know about the Klingons. We're just going to make some fucking dog shit up and therefore validate Jaden. Oh my God! Oh, the show is... God damn it, I hate it! If this was actually Star Trek, which it isn't, it's fecal matter that's projectile diarrheaing out of Alex Kurtzman's vagina, then what would have happened is exactly what we saw happening. I'm not going to call him Jaden anymore because it's the stupidest fucking name for a Klingon, turned his back on the Klingon way of life, and so his family turned his back on him. And now he has the consequences of that and to deal with that, which would have given him much more character other than giving googly eyes to Bully Boy and Kyle because they're going to get into their gay polycule relationship or whatever this fucking show's leading towards, and actually give them some gravitas, which is what's missing from the show. Anybody that has a fucking spine. Your father saw you as a Klingon warrior whose passion for death was only superseded for his passion for life. That's not a fucking Klingon! You dumb, stupid bint! I hate this show. This show is now making shit up simply to fit its own narrative. Again, that kind of fits perfectly for Kurtzman, Drek. But it shows how garbage you are as writers. That you literally have to take a species, break it, so that you can fit it into the way that you want it to exist as, and it doesn't make a lick of sense. And is the character better for it? No, the character's weaker for it, because you had to break it to try and make that character be like, oh my God, look at them, they're so great, relatable. Oh, you are a warrior after all. He's not. He's not a warrior at all. He's a dishonorable piece of shit. And the Klingons would reject him. Like we saw, but don't believe your lying eyes. Listen to the stupid half Jemadar, half Klingon who should never fucking exist in the first place, make up a load of bollocks. Do you know what I think? When I hear this, I think this.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
So, of course, the Klingons' response is to cry. Give me a batleth in 30 seconds. Even in the state that I'm at, in the age that I'm at, I'd have his head off in no time. Superman 78, you'll believe a man can fly. Starfleet Academy 2026, you'll believe a Klingon can cry. Oh. She then coerces the weak, effeminate, spineless Klingon by saying, oh, there's a planet just like Kronos, but you know how that went down with the Klingon people. So he puts his little necklace on because now he thinks he's a big boy. He's not. And he goes, get me back on the debate team. No. You got kicked off. At least that's what would have happened if it was true Trek, because you have to live with the consequences of your actions. But this is feelings Trek. And in feelings Trek, emotions win out. Ooh! He's literally debating fucking nobody. It's the only way that he can win an argument is for nobody to be there. I am a Klingon warrior. I learnt that here at Starfleet Academy, where I'm the only Klingon and had to be told by different coercive species, aka space commies, that I was actually a Klingon. Even though I don't exhibit any of their way of life, I've turned my back on all of it. But thanks to the power of Marxist commie space wankers, I am now a new, improved Klingon warrior. Shut your fucking mouth! No wonder there's nobody here to debate. They'd be laughing their pants off at you. Then he goes into this weird speech about his brother understanding the full mythology of, and they keep saying Kalish. Kalis! Not Lish. Kalis!
The man who appeared to me on Boroth is not Kalis.
And they kind of put it together with imagery of him, the gay Klingon, as if he's some sort of pseudo return of Kalis. Are you fucking kidding me now? This episode is just taking the right fucking piss out of Star Trek and Klingons. In actual fact, I think we should launch a full-scale assault on them right now, obliterate Starfleet Academy from the map, scorched earth, and then land, salt it, so nothing can ever grow there again. Salt the whole fucking lot. Actually, let's just glass earth. Let's just it's over. We've had our time. It's clearly done. Space commies have won the day. So glass the earth, get rid, and we can start afresh. Yeah? Just an idea I had. Now more utter bollocks, of course, because Klingons have been broken so they can be molded into the acceptable current day Klingons. Warriors can now take on many different meanings within the Klingon Empire. No, it can't. No, it can't. And the Federation needs to humble itself and listen to the Klingons, because Klingon problems require Klingon solutions, he says. Well, if the solution's coming from you, it's probably a gay jacuzzi pool party. And I don't think the rest of them are most likely going to go down that avenue. So the sources section detaches itself from the rest of the maxi pad and warps away, even though these are impulse engines here, and these are meant to be the warp nacelles. So how it... Oh, I don't care. They don't care. I don't care. They don't care. I don't care. The Klingon's invited to the bridge, where he says the first sensible thing he said all episode, which is, why are you even listening to me? But because the Federation is retarded, they said, well, the Federation's willing to take a risk, so fuck it. I just wanted to show Becky Lynch. Hi, Becky. How you doing? I hope you got paid well. I really do. So they get the ambassador back on the con and they say, we believe that the Klingons are trespassing in Federation space, and we view this as an act of aggression, and all Klingons are now enemies. So fight us. And then Starfleet warp in a group of the ugliest looking fucking shit I have seen in my life to fight them. And yeah, I hope the Klingons, it'd be fucking great if the Klingons just blew them all out the sky. The Klingon fleet is warping in now. And I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's 8 houses and one of them's 4 people. So it looks like the other houses actually had some heterosexuals on board. A few more ships warped in as well. So it's at least like 24, 25 Klingon ships against these 5 Federation vessels. And one of them identified themselves as the Lexington. It would just be so funny if you just saw, I think we saw a battle cruiser, a Klingon battle cruiser. If you just ripped the Lexington apart. Because they've been told, make it look good, but make sure that you don't hit and kill anyone, obviously. Maybe the Klingons don't share those values. But they won't. But at least I can think it for a second, and at least it's a bit of fun. Well, it actually turns out that none of the Starfleet vessels even fired at all. They just went through them, took some hits to their shields, came out the other side, and said, yeah, it's time for us to give up. And then the ambassador comes onto the con and says, we seize this planet in the name of the Klingon Empire. The Federation humbling themselves. I would call it patronizing, not humbling, patronizing the Klingon Empire. And at least they've got a planet, because we now, of course, have a new definition of warrior for a Klingon. It means being soft as shite. I'm beginning to like this ambassador more and more because he says, come here, boy, to Jaden. And he says, I have a special gift to bestow upon you. A little bit concerned for a second then. Thought it might have been a dildo. And then he materializes this and passes it to him and says, this is the weapon of a true Klingon warrior. Not one of the fake ones like you. And then he says one more thing, because it's from your family. And he says, my family survived. And he's just like, yeah, you degenerate polycule, 2 dudes, 1 chick, your fathers and your 1 mother. Yeah, they're fine. They're the only ones left, of course. Because there's no more to be bred there, mate. It's done. It's over. And you've condemned them because of it. But never mind. They are alive. Even if they won't get any larger in numbers. Hey, Caleb, how's your mum doing? Oh, God, yeah, nobody gives a shit. The show doesn't give a shit anymore. That was something in episode 1 and forgotten by episode 2, 3, and 4. But I'm sure it'll materialize when relevant. Fucking lens flare! Holy cow, he mentioned his mum. Holy shit, there is literal seconds of the episode to go. And you mention your mum. GG, mate. And that's the end. What a piece of shit. The Klingon race annihilated so that the space commies can mold them into the image that they want to. What a sack of absolute drivel. What this show needs is a healthy injection of masculinity, never gonna get it, and a healthy injection of heterosexuality, which it's never gonna get. Because at the minute, it's a 1-horse race in another direction. You know what I'm saying? So I'll see you next week for episode 5. And I know what's coming up in that episode. And you guys and gals ain't going to be happy at all. Until then, take care. Goodbye, Belobo.